Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Larry Burchett. Have you ever heard a doctor who has talked trash to one of his patients who's trying to lose weight, and at the same time, this doctor is willing to go through the process of weight loss with his patients? That is the Dr. Burchett Smack Talk Weight Loss Challenge. Watch for open enrollment. You want a piece of that? You want a piece of this? You come and get it. You come and get it. I had a patient who lost 50 pounds. I've been working with him for a long time. He saw me bench pressing and he said, I'm gonna outbench you by the end of the year. And he said, oh yeah? And I'm gonna knock those false teeth right out of your mouth by the end of the year. He has dentures. He laughed. He thought that was funny. Then he burned my house down. Nothing. He didn't burn my house down, but it got it going. Like, it really got him motivated. A friend of mine said, hey, I'm in this weight loss challenge. I think I want to lose about 15 pounds. This guy was in great shape in college. And I said, you know, John, you're too old, you're too bald, you got too many kids, and you work too much. Like, there's no way you're gonna win and beat me. And he was sitting there and he was just like, my blood is boiling. I haven't felt this good in a while. When do we start? So I got this idea. I was like, typically guys, but you know what? Ladies, get in on it too. You can talk some smack, just like talk a little trash to get some motivation and get it going, get that competitive edge out. So there'll be a Facebook group, watch for that. Today, I'm doing a DEXA scan, and that's what this video is about. Now, I'm in this challenge for me. This is day 0. I'm gonna do this with you. I have 2 goals. 1, to lose fat, and 2, to put on muscle. Now, when I gain 5 pounds, is that 4? I don't know. Is that 4 pounds of muscle and 1 pound of fat? Am I just lying to myself? And is that 5 pounds of fat? How do you know? I've gotten out the skin calipers. Scale isn't going to tell me that. Those, some of them say they can measure your body fat. I don't buy it. So today I'm going to get a DEXA scan, which is a big X-ray that's going to quantify my body fat percentage and lean body mass. Here we go. Let's do it. I'm going to go get on the table.
You're going to go right in the middle of it. And scooch up.
I'm making sure that I'm not a radiation.
Okay?
Can I do this or not? You want my...
No, I want your legs up.
Like this?
So I can see the next to your fingers.
Okay.
Okay. Are you on right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes. It's going to take 7 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, you just hold it real still.
Can I breathe?
Yeah.
Hey there. So I just did my DEXA scan. I'm waiting for my results to see exactly how much muscle I got in this frame and what my body fat percentage is. We were talking about it, and here they seem to think this is the gold standard. Of course, this is their place of business and what they do for money, but from what I've read, DEXA is probably gives you a number a little bit higher. So if you're really looking to feel good about yourself because you have 5% body fat or something, you're probably not going to get that number here. What I want to do with it is just use it as a starting point. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm here and I want to have a little bit lower body fat percentage at the end and a little bit higher muscle mass. And I think this is a really good modality for that, just because it calculates it. It scans basically an X-ray of your whole body, and then it adds up your muscle and your fat, and it breaks it down for you. And also in terms of location. So I'm kind of anxious to get my results. So we'll see how it goes. But that's the machine. It took about 7 minutes. Can't really move. Obviously you can breathe, although I tried to hold my breath for a while. How'd that go over for you? Yeah, that went really well. It lasted about 30 seconds, and then it started turning blue. Since it's X-ray, it's probably a little bit of radiation. You don't want to do it if you're pregnant, and you just got to think about your own comfortability with a little bit more radiation. It's probably at the same level as like those X-rays you get at the airport. We'll see what these results are. So I'm here at Body Spec with Leanne, who's going to give me my results of the DEXA scan and tell me my body fat percentage and all that. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm kind of interested to see where I'm at.
Well, this is your first scan.
Yeah.
This is you. Green is lean tissue, red is fat tissue. This is the weight of your skeleton in pounds. That's how much lean mass you have.
So wait a minute, my skeleton weighs 6 pounds?
6.6 to be
That's
exact.
it? My
Really?
skeleton is only 6 pounds?
Really? That's actually not bad.
You mean that's like a good number?
What I
I thought my
can
bones would be heavier than 6 pounds. Okay.
no, what I can tell you is that that's about right.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll see 8 pounds. The highest I've seen is 13.
Wow, 13. So there is something to being like big boned. Some
There-
people are big boned.
There is absolutely much truth to that.
Okay.
Lean mass, fat mass to give you your total mass.
Okay, so today I was 172 pounds with clothes on
Yes.
and 2 keys in my pocket. I don't know if you noticed those.
No, it didn't pop up.
Let's make sure we count for the keys on there. Okay, so 172 pounds, 133.7.
0.7.
Let's not forget that extra 0.7 of muscle. 31 pounds, 32 pounds of fat, so that is 18.5% body fat. That's not terrible.
And actually, not to correct you, Lawrence, but you said muscle here, and I haven't said muscle yet. This is lean tissue. So the DEXA scan knows the density of bone, and it knows the density of fat. And
Okay.
absolutely everything else is lumped in lean tissue. So, for example, your
Okay.
heart, I'd like to think, is not made out of bone. And your heart's not fat.
It can be pretty cold and hard at times, but no, it's a muscle.
Okay, so your heart is going to be in here, your organs, blood, water. If you have lunch, your
Okay,
lunch.
so 133 of muscle is a bit much.
It's a bit much.
Lean tissue.
We'll call it lean tissue, but
Okay.
yes, muscle is in there. And if you had lunch, it would be in there also. Unless you ate fat for lunch, then it would be here. So based on your age, you are right here. Oh, you're still. There we go. Okay, so for our purposes, you're sort of flirting with what we test elite athletes. So anything below 18% on a DEXA scan is what we do. And we do all the professional teams here in LA.
Elite athletes.
You're elite.
What like for the lowest elite athletes you see, like what number is that?
I saw my first last week, 7.5.
7.5.
And I don't remember his name because he'll always be 7.5 to me because I've never seen a 7.5.
So I feel like I've heard like 3% or 5%, not on DEXA, right? 7.5 is going to be super lean, like ridiculous elite athlete.
On this photo of you, ironically, as you become leaner, you're going to start, this will disappear and you're just going to have little slivers just on your, which honestly is not a bad spot to have.
Yeah, my hips.
Your hips.
Just pointing to my hips, by the way. Typically women have a lot there. Apparently, I'll show you this picture in a minute. So, okay, like 7.5, but that sounds extreme to me. To be
Yes,
honest.
and they have coaches, and they're doing 2 or 3 workouts a day. They have health coaches, they have strength and conditioning coaches. I mean, it's.
Is that like, do you think 7.5 is like bodybuilder show lean, or is that more like 10? I'm trying to get a gauge of these numbers.
The show lean for the guys, they definitely want to get somewhere around 8.
8.
They always keep saying 8 on a DEXA.
8 on a DEXA.
7 to 8.
And that's like you're miserable for a month eating carrots. And
Some of them are happy. Women, it's usually 10 or less.
Okay.
That's very rare to see, but again, you're flirting with the elite athlete. You're 0.5 off.
This is perfect though, because I'm at the beginning of what I'm going to call the Dr. Burchett Smack Talk Challenge, where I'm going to do this with people. We're going to talk a little trash. So when you say flirting with elite athlete, I love the idea that if I lose some fat and I gain some more muscle, I'm going to be in the category of what you would call an elite athlete. I like that a lot. That's very motivating.
And at the end of the day, we don't want you to lose your lean tissue. If anything, we'd love for you to keep it or get more of it. This is what we want to see.
Well, so what I want to do is both, and that's like the holy grail, right? How do you put on some more lean tissue and decrease fat at the same time.
That is the holy grail, which we'll get to shortly, because I know where you're going with that. Because honestly, at the end of the day, if you just do cardio only, a lot of times we see this go down.
Yeah.
And yeah, they lose that, but we'll see that kind of go down. Or if somebody does some crazy low carb diet, this goes down because every time you store a gram of carbohydrate, you're storing a gram of water.
They can't see what you're pointing at,
Oh, sorry, lean tissue.
what you just said is if you just do cardio, you might lose a little lean tissue. Also, if you do some crazy fat diet, you're probably going to lose lean tissue too, which in the long run is going to put you at a disadvantage for keeping, if you're trying to keep weight off.
Right, and you'll see greater changes if you do both, which is what you suggested, which is gaining lean tissue and dropping the fat. You'll see this change immensely. I mean, at the end of the day, if...
Immensely?
Yeah.
So in 2 months, so 18.5, what's a reasonable, would you say, I'm not going to go insane, but I'm going to hit it hard.
You know, that all really depends on you. We get that question a lot, like, okay, 2 months, you know, how much % can I lose? And I'd say, well, Lawrence,
A couple.
you know, yeah, you could lose a couple, but that depends on the intensity of your workouts, the type of or the type of calories, or the quality of the calories you're eating. There's much that goes into what's going to change that percentage. You know, and I'm just going to be honest with the DEXA, just so you understand. If you come back in 2 hours and you just drank like a gallon of water, you're going to be leaner, because that gallon of water is going to increase this. So I'm just trying to give you some context. So
how much would that increase it? I mean, a pound.
maybe a couple pounds. However, make sure you come in your next scan in the afternoon so that you can keep everything
So it's
consistent.
similar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
The 5 regions that we like to track over time, just to give you a sense for what's what, the trunk, and you'll show them on this photo, is the upside down house. So it's the rectangle and the triangle
Okay.
is your trunk. Within your trunk is the android.
So that's chest, abdomen, pelvis.
Like front and back, yeah.
Okay.
Within your trunk, so it's the bottom of your rib and the top of your hip, this is what we call the android region.
Now, I have a screw in my back. Can you see that on any of this?
If the screw's behind you, yes. If the screw's in front, on this photo, I can't see it.
Yeah.
But if it was on the front, yeah, oftentimes we'll see things if it's in the front.
Okay.
The gynoid is the upper hips, bottom and thigh. It starts right here at your pubic bone,
Oh, okay.
and it's here, so that's gynoid. Each region, we know your total mass, and within that mass, we also know how much fat tissue, lean tissue, and bone in pounds you have in a particular region. This regional assessment, there's 5 regions we like to track. The trunk on this photo, which will show them, is the upside down house. So it's the rectangle.
Right, so we
and
got
the
all of
triangle.
that. You broke
Yep.
down all of the arms, legs, trunk, android, gynoid.
And at the end of the day, we look at, okay, based on the region, you know, since we know the total mass in a particular region and we know how much fat's in the region, we can determine the percentage of fat in a region.
Okay.
So yours is in the android
And the android is which part?
here. That's the lower abdominal region, so the bottom of your rib and the
So
top
my
of your rib.
gut.
Yep.
So there's a little, so I see anywhere from 16%
In your arms.
in the arms and then 21% in the gut. So there's a little more, a little bit in the gut.
So at the end of the day, with all the regions, this is the one we focus on the most, your gut.
Most people.
Well, this is what we look at because there's more documented, we'll call it studies, based on this region than there is, let's say, on your arms.
Yeah. That's where you're going to store more fat than your arms. Makes more sense. It's where the trunk is.
Ironically, as you become leaner, this will start whittling away, and again, you'll still have some right here.
So we've got this picture, and you can see it's green is lean mass, and then the orange is the fat. And so she's kind of showing me, she's forward pacing how I'm gonna burn off some of that orange, thin it out a little bit.
This is an estimate of your resting metabolic rate, so how many calories you need at rest.
Oh, no kidding.
And it's just an estimate.
So this is calories per day at rest.
24 hours laying in
So
bed.
1667 is just what I need per day if I'm not exercising.
Which is an estimate based on your height, your weight, your age, and your gender. We actually
Okay.
have a separate test for that here. You're leaner than the average male, so I'm thinking you're going to be much higher than that with your RMR. So how many liters of oxygen you consume depends on how many calories you need.
Okay.
So again, this is just a calculation.
Okay. Interesting.
The percentage of fat that's in the android.
This is great. This is way more information than I thought I was going to get.
Maybe more than you want them to
No,
know.
for $45, this is a bargain.
The percentage of fat in your android region, the goal is to have that percentage over time less than your overall body fat percentage.
Oh, really? Okay. So the android region is 21% for me, and total body fat is 18. So we want 21 less than 18.
Yes, and
Okay.
as this goes down, you want your android to change it, or to chase it. So as your total body fat
Both
percentage
go
increases.
down at the
Yes.
same time. Okay, good. So these are good goals. I got some goals here.
And the percentage of fat that's in your android region, the goal is to have that less than what's in your hips, bottom, and thigh.
Okay.
I mean, you're close. At the end of the day, whatever weight you have, if you have it below the belt, there are less health risks associated if you're having it above the belt.
Yeah, intra-abdominal obesity, for sure.
This is not you, it's just a sketch, and this is more specifically the android region.
Okay.
There's two regions. One is your visceral region, so that's the internal fat around your organs.
Should I tell you what, doctor?
Nope, but that's
Yeah,
great.
doctor. Carry on.
Okay. And the second region is your subcutaneous, which is just under the skin. So now that you know all that, and you already knew it, that number right there, so 0.73, is what you have in the visceral region
Okay.
of your android area.
Okay.
The goal is to get that visceral to 0 over time.
Oh, no kidding.
Over time.
So wait a minute. This is 0.73 pounds?
0.73 pounds.
So it's not even a pound.
It's not a pound.
So I want to
So-
get this less than 1 pound to 0.
Yes.
No visceral, basically visceral fat or organ fat. Okay.
And for men, anything greater than 2.7 pounds of visceral fat is considered a risk factor.
Oh,
So I
okay.
mean,
So 2.7 would be bad, and I want it to 0. Okay.
things that make that go up, stress, sugars, or the type of sugars, and eating late at night will make that go up.
Stress and sometimes I eat late at night. Okay.
At the end of the day, if you want to know what you have just under the skin, since we know your total fat is 2.4 pounds,
Mhm.
if we subtract the 0.73 from 2.4, that's what you have just under the skin. So
Okay.
a little over a pound and something.
A pound, you said? A little over a pound.
Pound and a half, I think.
And you're gonna have some fat there. You can't make that 0.
You're absolutely correct about that. In fact, we've tested some lean men who were at 9.5%,
Yeah.
and they had a pound of visceral fat, which I found amusing because,
They had a pound of visceral fat, even though that they were super lean.
correct,
Wow, that's interesting.
it is.
Huh. So people put it in different places.
And honestly, it's harder for men to get that visceral fat down to 0. It's much easier for women. I'm sure it has everything to do with the hormones.
Most things do.
You had a DEXA scan, so you're compared to other men, your age and ethnicity, versus a bone scan, which is done with a
Okay.
doctor. So based on the DEXA, you're 75% better. Your bones are 75% more dense than other men your age and ethnicity.
Okay.
So it's good. Things that make that increase, calcium supplement or calcium in your diet and weight training. Things that make that go down, caffeine, nicotine, and soft drinks.
Vitamin D and weights.
Yep.
Okay.
Here we're just, go
It's
ahead.
interesting. And so now I'm thinking, like, what, am I going to try like a calcium, or am I going to try a vitamin D supplement
But
just for fun?
If you're getting it already in your diet, I wouldn't make any changes. I mean, that's your call, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Down below here, we're just looking to see if an injury waiting to happen, and for the most part, it looks like your arms and your legs are relatively even, so it looks like you have 0.3 pounds more in your right arm,
Oh wow.
and it looks like your left leg has
Oh, that's interesting.
0.4 pounds.
So my right arm has got more muscle, and I know this one is stronger. Like when I'm doing
Or lean
individual
tissue.
curves, it's got, and then my left leg has more.
And again, this could be all things. Now that I know that you probably spend a good amount of time standing, that might be the
Yeah.
leg you lean on. Who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe you
interesting.
played a sport. Maybe you have a muscle car and your clutch is really heavy. You
Oh,
have
that's
to push
funny.
up. It's hard to say. But
I have a 2001 Civic, so we'll go with yes on the muscle car thing.
you have nothing greater than 2 pounds, so you're good to go.
Okay.
Nothing
Nothing
really.
too much we're worried about there.
Your final 4 pages are just data points, which today will mean nothing because it's just your data from your regional assessment from page 1 in these 2 columns, and we plot it so we can track over time. Where are you gaining it?
I
you
see.
have
So
2
this
pages
is
of
just
that.
this is day 1. This is the starting line, as I call it. So okay, let's get back to that question that you dodged. but I'm gonna bring you back to it. Okay, so 18.5%. I'm thinking about doing this in 1 month or 2 months. What do you recommend for a recheck?
If you're motivated by numbers, I would come between 6 to 8 weeks.
So not earlier than, so 6 weeks at the earliest.
No, you could come in 4 weeks. The thing is,
But I don't want to come if there's not going to be that much change.
oh, it
Or if it's
depends
not
on
worth it.
the effort. So if you're saying starting like tomorrow, I'm gonna do blank. You know, I'm gonna make these changes. with
Starting
the hours
today.
Today.
Yeah,
And-
starting now.
And this is what this is how much this and this and this I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
Then we need to see if it's working. So I would come back in 4 weeks because.
So a month is enough time.
Yeah.
Okay, to know if there's some
2 to
change.
3 weeks is a little early. I mean, will you see it? Sure, but it'll be so minor.
Okay, but a
versus
month.
A month.
Okay, so 1 month. So give me what's the craziest anybody's lost in a month that you've seen?
The craziest I've seen has been with intermittent fasting, but he's not. They're totally different
It's a different
weights.
thing.
And
How about for somebody who's around my thing who's trying to cut down a little bit?
It could be 4 to 6 pounds of fat.
Is that 1%?
It all depends on how much you weigh when you come in, and that weight is based on how much lean tissue. So at the end of the day, if you're weighing less,
How about putting on muscle? And I'm not using steroids.
great, you'll be happier. So if you're putting,
A couple pounds.
and it takes 6 months to really put on true muscle. So
What do you mean by that? 6 months?
So if you know how muscle building takes place, a lot of the weight that you may be gaining is that you're actually storing more carbohydrate in that muscle, so you have more energy for your next workout. But the actual muscle fibers themselves take a certain period of time in order for them to truly develop. So I'm saying 6 months. It could be 4 to 6 months, but yes.
Longer period
At
of
the end,
time.
yes, absolutely, you can get more lean tissue, but just caveat that with, what is
Is
that?
it true muscle, not the
Right,
same
but
as for
yes,
6
you
months?
could
Okay.
definitely come in heavier or with more lean tissue. And if this is less, then yes, we'll see a more.
I'm
dramatic
trying to
change.
come up with a goal. Do I want that down 1% in a month? 2% is a bit much.
2% you could go with. We need to see, are you healthy? Is your immune system shocked because you did it so quickly and so fast?
No, I'm not gonna go. I want to do this where basically I get a little more serious and disciplined about working out. We're not talking 3 hours, like an hour a day, 5 days a week.
That's healthy.
For sure. And then, I just want to probably take out a little bit of carbs and add some more vegetables during the day and keep a lot of protein.
Lots of water.
Yeah.
So 2% is not a bad goal.
In 2 months or 1 month?
How about between 1 to 2 months? Also, you know that 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So at the end of the day, I'm not a big proponent of one losing more than a pound in a week.
Yeah.
Because that's very significant.
Agreed. And I don't have a ton to lose, so I'm more like a half a pound. So I think my goal is going to be 2 months. I want to put on 5 pounds of lean tissue, and I'm not sure how much fat I'm going to lose. Shit.
You could lose anywhere between 2 and 6 pounds. I mean, again, we don't know. It's all
It's
just
hard for me to gauge that, but I think I'd want to be like 175 and have 5 more pounds of muscle. So that would mean lose a couple pounds of fat. And I can do that, half a pound a week. I can do that. I think that's the goal.
And it's
Now, what would
healthy.
that be? Let's do those numbers real quick. So what would that be percent body fat? So if I took this down 2 pounds, we'll say to 31.9, and then I wanted that up 30, so I'll go 130. Just kind of make it easy. 139. So then what's my percentage body fat then?
I need a calculator, I'm sorry. So you divide the 30 into, you add up your total, and then you
Wait a
divide.
minute, that doesn't add. That's 169. How did I come up with that? 31. Oh, bone plus the bone. So yeah, that's 175. Okay, so 30 divided by 175. Do it the old, I gotta do this the old-fashioned way. No, that's not. Oh, it's a percentage. So you need to do this is a great review of. No, it's not going to drop it that much.
If you had 30 pounds of fat, your body fat percentage would drop down to 17.1 based on these numbers.
17.1. So that would be like 1.5% in 2 months. Okay.
And you factored in the bones in that
175.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So maybe that'll be my goal. 17. Get down to 17.
That's a healthy goal.
Yeah. We want to do this healthy. We don't just want to crash diet in and be screwed afterwards, you know? Do something a little more sustainable. Okay. Good. Well, this was really helpful.
You're absolutely welcome. Do you have any other questions?
I don't think so. I've got a goal in my head, so I'll be back. We'll see you again.
Look forward to
Do
seeing
you do this every day or most days?
Most days, but there are others.
Well, I kind of want to have you again because we sat down the first time.
I'm here a lot, so.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to call, next time I come back, I'm going to call for you. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
oh, nice to meet you. And
Okay.
I don't want to run, but.
No, you gotta go.
No, it's
Okay,
fine.
thanks a lot.
But you're funny. But that's cool.
All right, so we got the goal. Again, a little more chub than I thought, right? But this is what I love. She's like, you're almost an elite athlete. I'm gonna get him to the elite. 17. You heard it here first. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. Thanks to those guys over there. I will be back in 6 weeks to check in. And there is no lying. There's no getting around it. You know, that will tell the tale. I'm excited and motivated about this. I can't cheat it anymore. So my question 1 to you is, where are you at now? What's your level of fitness? What's your weight? Question 2, what's your goal? What do you want? We get in this process, if you take part in the Dr. Burchett Smack Talk Challenge, I'm gonna walk you through figuring out what's really important to you, that vision, translating that into goals, connecting it to what is authentically driving you for motivation. And then 3, what's your plan? How are you gonna get from A to B? What are you gonna eat? What exercise are you gonna do? Behavior modification, stuff inside. We're gonna cover all this stuff. I've got dietitians, nutritionists, personal trainers. I got some great people who've had success in this. So tune in, join this weight loss challenge. It's gonna be a lot of good information. And I look forward to taking you down, to talking a little trash, and to having fun, you know, to do it a different way, to have fun with this kind of support group so that we live happier, healthier lives. So check out the Dr. Burchett, Dr. Larry Smack Talk Weight Loss Challenge.